On September 5th, U.S. Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice met with Libyan leader Muammar Qaddafi to attest the diplomatic revival of U.S. Libya relations. The meeting, which took place at Qaddafi's estate, marked the first visit by U.S. Secretary of State to the North African country in 55 years, and was aimed at dissolving decades of antagonism 5 years after Libya abandoned its nuclear program. At a news conference with Libya's Foreign Minister, Rice commented on her discussions with the Libyan leader.
We did talk about learning from the lessons of the past. We talked about the importance of moving forward. The United States, I've said many times, doesn't have any permanent enemies.
For years, Washington considered Qaddafi a major supporter of terrorism, and during the Reagan presidency, Qaddafi was referred to as the mad dog of the Middle East. But recently, the 66-year-old leader has calmed his hostility with the West, wanting to carry his country towards improved international relations. On August 14th, the United States and Libya signed a settlement agreement to compensate the victims of U.S. and Libyan bombings in the late 80s. The State Department clarified that the agreement was being pursued on a purely humanitarian basis, and that it did not constitute an admission of fault by either party. Among other issues, Rice and Qaddafi reportedly discussed the Middle East, terrorism, and the Darfur conflict. Though there was no official report about discussions related to Iran's controversial nuclear program, U.S. Assistant Secretary of State for Near East Affairs, David C. Welch, has said that Libya could be a model for Iran. Welch said, quote, "It is very useful to be able to say, look, if you made a different choice, there is a path forward here. You can get out of this box if you behave responsibly." In the past months, Qaddafi has criticized Iran's relentless nuclear ambitions, describing it as a display of arrogance, and warned that the country would fail as a result of international isolation. On August 5th, during a trip to Tunisia, Qaddafi said, quote, "No country will survive on its own in the future. The challenges facing Iran are greater than its ability to overcome them alone."